Hello everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to kick off today's session with you. We're diving into Mega Goal 2.2, which focuses on conversation and listening. The unit we're exploring is titled, You Are What You Eat. Over the next few minutes, we'll look at how effective communication and active listening play a key role in understanding each other, especially around topics related to food and health. So, let's get started and make this a fun and engaging learning experience. All right, let's start with a fun question. What do we call someone who tastes food? That's right, we often refer to them as a food taster or a critic. But you might wonder, is tasting food really a job? Well, it certainly can be. When someone has a refined palate and a deep knowledge of flavors, they can turn their passion for tasting into a career. Now you've probably heard the word gourmet before. Do you know what a gourmet cook means? Essentially, a gourmet cook is someone who prepares high-quality, expertly crafted dishes, often emphasizing flavor, presentation, and unique ingredients. Take a look at this picture. What do you think she's doing? Yes, she appears to be tasting food, perhaps adjusting flavors or checking the quality of what she's cooking. This highlights the importance of tasting in the culinary world. It's a crucial step to ensure the dish is just right. So, as we move forward in this presentation, keep in mind that tasting and understanding flavors is not just about eating. It's a skill, an art form, and for some, a professional career. Let's start with the idea of being a gourmet. A gourmet is someone who truly knows a lot about fine food and, just as importantly, appreciates it. It's not just about eating, it's about understanding the nuances, the flavors, and the craftsmanship behind each dish. Being a gourmet means having a refined palate and a genuine passion for discovering high-quality, well-prepared food. Throughout this presentation, we'll see how this appreciation for fine food connects to broader themes like culinary excellence, cultural appreciation, and the art of gastronomy. So, when we talk about gourmets, we're really talking about people who elevate eating into a true art form. Today, we're exploring a simple yet interesting scene where they are talking about a wonderful meal. This might seem straightforward, but it actually highlights the importance of everyday conversations and how we share our experiences. So, what exactly are they talking about? Well, they're discussing a meal that they found to be really special, perhaps delicious or memorable. Now, you might wonder, who are they? The slide tells us their names are Nawal and Fadwa. These are two persons, which is an important point because it shows a conversation between two individuals. And how many persons are there in total? That's right, just two. Keeping track of the number of people involved helps us understand the dynamics of the conversation. Overall, this slide connects to the broader theme of communication and daily life interactions, emphasizing how sharing experiences like a meal can bring people closer. It's a simple scene, but it reflects a common and meaningful part of human connection. Now, imagine yourself listening in on a lively dinner table conversation about a truly wonderful meal. You can hear the excitement and appreciation in their voices as they describe the flavors, textures, and presentation. This kind of conversation highlights how powerful sharing experiences like a great meal can be in fostering connections and creating memories. It also demonstrates the importance of paying attention to details, like aroma, taste, and presentation, that enhance our overall experience. In the context of our presentation, this example underscores the value of paying close attention to the small details that make interactions memorable and meaningful, whether in food, communication, or collaboration. So, are these words, crème and brûlée, actually English words? No, they are French words. You might see them often in the context of cooking, and that's because French has a long-standing reputation for its culinary excellence. People tend to use French terms when talking about cooking, because France is famous across the Western world for its sophisticated cuisine and talented chefs. When someone uses these words, it usually indicates something that's uncommonly excellent, a real mark of quality. Now, when Nawal says the meal is phenomenal, she's emphasizing that it's not just good, but truly outstanding. It highlights how special and memorable the experience was, connecting to our overall theme of appreciating culinary artistry and the language that often accompanies it. Who says that spreading ideas or messages has to be a slow or complicated process? Well, the truth is, in today's interconnected world, spreading information can happen rapidly and widely. It's all about how we leverage the right channels and strategies to reach our audience effectively. This idea of spreading is central to our overall theme because it highlights the power of communication, how a single message can influence many, shape perceptions, and even drive change. So, understanding the mechanics behind this spread is crucial for anyone looking to make an impact in their field. Fadwa, who says it's always complicated to come up with ideas, managed to whip it up in no time. This is a great example of how creativity and quick thinking can really make a difference. It shows that sometimes, all it takes is a little confidence and a bit of spontaneity to generate effective solutions. Remember, in our overall theme of innovation and agility, Fadwa's approach highlights the importance of being adaptable and trusting your instincts when faced with challenges. So, don't underestimate the power of a quick, well-executed idea. Who says, "Quite the cook"? Well, this phrase highlights how someone might challenge a common perception or stereotype about cooking skills. It's a way of questioning whether the idea that only certain people are good at cooking is valid. Throughout this presentation, we've seen how skills like cooking can be learned and perfected by anyone, regardless of background. So when I say, "Who says?" I'm inviting you to reconsider assumptions and recognize that talent and effort can break down these stereotypes. It's an important reminder that everyone has the potential to excel in areas they might not initially believe they can. Who says, "Come to think of it," this phrase really invites us to pause and reflect. It's about questioning assumptions and considering alternative perspectives. Sometimes we accept things at face value without really digging deeper. But when we say, "Come to think of it," it signals a shift, a moment to reassess what we've just heard or thought. It's a powerful way to encourage curiosity and critical thinking, which are essential in our overall theme of continuous learning and growth. So, in our journey, this phrase reminds us to stay open-minded and always be willing to revisit our ideas with fresh eyes. Who says, "Have a sweet tooth"? Well, it's a common phrase we hear to describe someone who loves sugary treats. But in our context today, it's more than just about cravings. It's about understanding the cultural perceptions and how these perceptions influence our behaviors and choices. Recognizing who is labeled this way can help us better understand societal attitudes toward food and health. So, let's think about how this idea connects to our overall theme of nutrition and cultural influence. It's fascinating to see how language shapes our understanding of habits and preferences, and how these, in turn, impact our health decisions. Let's take a moment to read through these words and their meanings. Understanding these key terms is crucial because they form the foundation of what we're discussing today. As we go through each word, I'll explain not just what it means, but also why it's important and how it connects to our overall theme. This will help us build a clearer picture of the concepts and make the rest of the presentation more meaningful. So, let's dive in and explore these words together. Wow, she mentions that it must have taken the whole day to create such a phenomenal meal, and I think that really highlights the effort and dedication behind it. Fadwa prepared a variety of dishes: chicken, grilled asparagus, a rich chocolate raspberry layer cake, and an elegant almond crème brûlée. It's a wonderful showcase of her culinary skills and attention to detail. At first, she insists she can't eat another bite, which is a relatable moment. Sometimes we think we're full after such a feast. But then, when she hears about the desserts, her resolve shifts, and she decides she can have a little more. This change of heart really underscores how tempting and irresistible those sweet treats are, and it ties into our broader theme of how passion and effort can turn a simple meal into an extraordinary experience. Now, let's take a closer look at some common phrases we use when offering, accepting, and declining food and drink. These expressions are essential for polite and effective communication in social situations involving meals or refreshments. When offering food or drinks, we might say things like, "Would you like some?" or "Can I offer you a drink?" These phrases are friendly and inviting. If someone accepts, they might respond with "Yes, please," or "That would be lovely." It's important to show appreciation and enthusiasm when accepting an offer. Conversely, if someone declines, they might say no, thank you, or I'm good, thanks. This maintains politeness and respect for their choice. These phrases are not just about good manners. They help facilitate smooth social interactions and ensure everyone feels comfortable. Remember, the key is to be polite, friendly, and attentive to the other person's response. This connects to our overall theme of effective communication and social etiquette, especially in diverse settings where sharing food and drink is a common part of the experience. Now let's take a closer look at this slide. The question here is, which expression does Fadwa use in the conversation? This might seem like a simple detail, but it actually reveals a lot about her attitude and the tone of the interaction. When analyzing her choice of words or expressions, we're really uncovering her feelings, her level of confidence, or even her intentions. It's important to pay attention, because these expressions can influence the overall meaning of the conversation and help us understand the underlying message. So, as we discuss this, I want you to think about how her chosen expression aligns with the theme of communication and understanding in our presentation. Remember, the way someone expresses themselves can sometimes be just as important as what they actually say. All right, let's take a closer look at the journey of chocolate, starting from the raw ingredients to the final product. It all begins with the cocoa bean, which is the foundational element. Inside the bean, you'll find the nibs, which are essentially the small, crunchy pieces that contain the cocoa solids and fat. When these nibs are processed, they become cocoa mass, also known as cocoa liquor, which is a key ingredient in chocolate making. From the cocoa mass, we move to the crumb stage, which is a finely ground mixture that helps control the texture and flavor of the final chocolate. This crumb is then processed into a paste, where the cocoa components are blended to achieve the desired consistency and flavor profile. Now, if we look at the broader picture, these elements, beans, nibs, cocoa mass, crumb, and paste, are all interconnected steps in transforming raw cocoa into the delicious chocolate bar we enjoy. This progression highlights how careful processing and quality control at each stage are crucial for producing high-quality chocolate. So, understanding these components really underscores the complexity and craftsmanship involved in chocolate production. All right, now let's take a look at this vocabulary matching activity. As you can see, we've got a set of letters on one side, B, a D, E, F, G, C, and each one corresponds to a different term or concept on the other side. The idea here is to connect each letter with the correct word or meaning that we've discussed throughout the presentation. This activity really helps reinforce your understanding by encouraging you to recall and match the key vocabulary with its definition or context. It's a great way to solidify your learning and see how all these pieces fit together within the bigger picture we've been exploring. Remember, the goal is to internalize these terms so they become second nature when you think about the overall theme, whether it's a process, a concept, or a framework we've been working through. So, take your time, think about what each letter stands for, and see how they all connect to the ideas we've been discussing.